Good to go.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to a long overdue edition of the Counted Out Watch Along series. My name is Tyler, and I am joined by the co-host of the E8 podcast, longtime friend of the show, Steve Bourne. Steve, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How you doing?
I am so excited right now. We are watching wrestling royalty in the ring, as far as I'm concerned. This is one of my favorite tag team matches of all time, and everyone who listens to us knows that I'm a tag team connoisseur. We got the British Bulldogs against Joe and Dean Malenko, January 28th, 1989. Steve, have you ever seen this match before?
I have not. I've actually, outside of Dynamite's match with Tiger Mask in '82, I've never seen any of his New Japan stuff.
Okay, so this, I believe, is All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
So the Bulldogs ended up, when they left, this was after their WWF run, obviously. They went back to Japan, and they just really tore the house down with a lot of great tag team matches. A lot of people would say this was past Dynamite Kid's prime, his back injuries and whatnot. But let me tell you, man, Dynamite was still bringing the fire around this time period. And just look at Davey Boy right now. Tell me this guy is not just a superstar just by looking at him.
I mean, he had the $1 million body. I really do think if his personal demons didn't get in the way, he would have had Vince would have put the title on him.
I think he's definitely got the world title caliber to him, and a very, very young Dean Malenko here, and
before even ECW.
Yeah, this is before. This is Dean's got to only be about 2 or 3 to 4 years in the business at this time, and you don't see a big guy look at how quick those arm drags were, man. Bulldogs got to be close to 300 pounds of pure muscle at this point,
Yeah, it's obviously looking at those arm drags, they learned something from Steamboat.
Oh, yeah, 100%, right? And, this is going to be a professional wrestling match, you know what I mean? Dean Malenko, I think Dean Malenko might be one of the most underrated wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling.
Oh, for sure. I think it's a matter of time. I think once he's done what he's doing with AEW right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Vince puts him in the Hall of Fame.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest in-ring technicians of all time. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Dean Malenko match. Look at the speed, agility here. Wow, that was smooth.
Smooth head scissors and smart move by Davey Boy ducking the drop kick.
Yeah, and here comes Dynamite, and you can't hear it right now because we have the volume turned down, but the crowd, the respect that Dynamite has. And here's a name that you don't hear a lot about, and that is the great Joe Malenko. You know anything about Joe, Steve?
I do not, except that his brother Dean and his dad Boris were pretty damn good in the ring.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe is no slouch himself, man. And he was big time over in Japan. He had a very small run in ECW as well, but Joe never really transitioned over into the North American audience. And you're really going to see Joe showcase some talent here. At this point in his career, I think he was better than Dean in the ring, in all honesty.
Okay, like I said, I don't know much about Joe Malenko. I mean, the Malenko family alone is almost pure wrestling royalty. If it wasn't just for the three, they'd probably be almost in the Hart family territory. With I've seen a lot of old Boris Malenko stuff.
Yeah, great Dean trainer too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dean's stuff in WCW, especially his stuff with Ray and Jericho, is some of the best stuff WCW ever did.
Oh, yeah. Joe actually he made an appearance in WCW during that angle as well.
Okay. I vaguely remember that, but I mean, the big thing I remember with the Jericho and Dean Malenko was obviously the list of 1,004 holds.
Yeah. Do you like the throwback they did on AEW recently with that?
Yes. You guys mentioned that. I saw that. I thought I got a nice little smirk out of that. And also the big when Dean Malenko came back as a Cyclope at Slamboree.
Oh, the best pop of all time.
It's probably the biggest pop WCW ever had outside of Goldberg.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a really hot angle, and by the time this is airing, you will have heard us talk about that on Counted Out top 7 Canadian title reigns of all time.
Jericho's cruiserweight title run.
Yeah, that's
that was
definitely
what, 97?
98, I believe.
Was that 98? Well,
98.
97 was more Ray and Eddie for the title.
Yeah, Ray and Eddie. You had babyface Chris Jericho throwing himself against the guardrail there.
Yeah.
Now you got the two big boys in here, and again, you're going to see a lot of chain wrestling, and I'll tell you guys a little backstory here. When Mike and I did a couple of our pilot episodes, one of the ones we did was the top 7 Davey Boy Smith matches. And this match was my number 2 on the list, I believe. This was a long time ago, so it might have been my number 1 or 2. I can't remember. And I flat out said to Mike, if you're not a fan of professional wrestling, look at how amazing that was.
That was awesome.
Right?
That was awesome.
If you're not a fan of professional wrestling, or if you don't like this match, then you're not a fan of professional wrestling.
Yeah. There's certain matches where if you don't like that match, you no one will get you over. Another Davey Boy match comes to mind was obviously against Brett at SummerSlam.
100%.
And also,
look at that agility.
Yeah.
That guy shouldn't be doing that.
No, not that big.
And now look how, I sorry to cut you off here, Steve. I want to go back to your point in a minute, but how cool is it to see the Dynamite Kid and Dean Malenko in the ring together?
Yeah. I mean, I wish this was probably about maybe 2 or 3 years earlier before Dynamite had his back issues.
Yeah, but look at Dynamite though, man. He's still moving great. Like, here he goes. Yeah. That's classic right there. That's beautiful.
You could see Dynamite and just basically put Chris Benoit's face on there, and you couldn't tell the difference.
100%, right?
But
look at him. He's still in great shape. Sorry, go back to your Davey Boy point. Some of your more Davey Boy matches.
And I was just saying more of pro wrestling matches that if you're not a fan of, you weren't not a fan of pro wrestling. I mean, as we're recording this is the 10th anniversary of the infamous Pipe Bomb pay-per-view, promo with Punk, which led to me one of the best, to me, Cena's best match of all time with Punk.
I put in his top 2. For me, him and AJ Styles is up there, but you can slide Punk in there as well for me.
If anything, just because the crowd was made that match more than anything else, especially in Chicago.
Yeah, that was special. CM Punk was something special.
Yeah.
I recently collaborated with a friend of the show, Anthony from the Titantron podcast, and we went into great detail about how you should listen to your fans, and it was really cool. You can catch that on Spotify. A little bit of a botch there, but that's all right.
Botch, still, you could say it's a bit of a snapback reverse Rana.
But look how they cover for that. You see how Davey Boy launched Malenko there? That was fantastic.
Yeah, about halfway across the ring, yeah.
But I was saying, Anthony, the Titantron podcast there, you can catch it on Spotify, YouTube. Myself and Vince Russo were on the show, not together. I didn't get to speak to Vince Russo, but we talked about where wrestling fans have gone and what the product needs to do now. And it was a really fun listen to. If you have 20 minutes of your time, check it out over on Spotify.
Yeah, will do. It's the funny thing now is looking at the Bulldogs now. With a live crowd, I think they would have been hot for about a year, maybe 2 at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then, thanks to the internet, they probably would have dissected every single botch and every single.
Oh wow, that was impressive.
Oh yeah, 2 got out.
Do you put the Bulldogs? Where do you put the Bulldogs as in regards to some of the greatest tag teams of all time?
I'd have to put them top 15, maybe top 10.
Yeah, that's. I think I've got them hovering around as my top 10.
Yeah, the run in North America wasn't that long in the grand scheme of things. It's insanely long now because they decided to break up a tag team every 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, what's the longest running tag team in WWE outside of the New Day?
Probably the Usos, the New Day, right?
Yeah, Usos, New Day, and then maybe Street Profits if you go back to their NXT run.
Yeah, I would say so. And I forgot Street Profits were the way that they've been booking. I forget that half these guys are even on the roster now.
Well, Montez Ford is injured right now, so
yeah, he had surgery, right? Wow, look at that strength.
Well, that's strength, yeah. I mean, that's definitely some cooperation with Dynamite, but that's a lot of strength.
You know what this is doing too, though? Going hold for hold with Dynamite Kid in Japan is giving you instant credibility. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Dynamite Kid is a legend in Japan, just for his matches based on Tiger Mask alone. I recently watched a match with Dynamite Kid against Stan Hansen. That was really good.
Oof, that would have been physical as hell.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of each other. That was
probably the closest thing you'll ever get to a shoot.
Yeah, they really gave it into each other. But, say what you want about, a lot of people have a lot to say about Dynamite Kid and his personal life and how he behaved. And I'm not going to condone any of his actions either, especially after watching some of Dark Side of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
But from an in-ring standpoint, I think that he is one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers that's ever stepped in the ring. Definitely one of the most influential wrestlers that's ever stepped in the ring. And I think that his legacy gets shit on a lot, compared to a lot of other people. And we talked about this off air a little bit, and they talked about this on Dark Side of the Ring. How many people have done so much more worse than what Dynamite did in his life and are praised all the time? Like,
I mean, if we go back, Snook is the big one.
Snook is in the Hall of Fame. Hogan's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Sonny's in the Hall of Fame. Like
Warrior.
Warrior, I just I don't understand why Dynamite is so frowned upon. And as a bit of a cheap plug, I will be talking to Dynamite Kid's daughter by the time this airs, and hopefully she can shed some light onto that as well.
I think with Dynamite, though, is, at least with the other guys, I mean, I don't know about Snuka, but with Hogan and Warrior, they did at least some decent PR to try to redeem themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite never wanted to or got the chance to.
Yeah, he never. I think there was a lot of pride in the Dynamite Kid. And as much as it really bothered me on Dark Side of the Ring that they focused so heavily on the Jacques Rougeau incident, because I really think they took way too much time on that on the Dark Side. But I think it really affected him from a mental standpoint and a personal standpoint.
Did, especially when basically Jacques took out, 4 teeth?
Yeah, I think so.
With the roll of quarters?
No, you know what it was, though? It was brass knuckles, and legitimately it was brass knuckles, and Dynamite never went down.
Yeah, they even said Dynamite never went down, but they said the teeth were knocked out.
The teeth went down, but Dynamite never went down.
Yeah.
So there's a fun backstory to that, too, and I'll plug his book here. If you've ever read the book Pure Dynamite, it may be one of the best wrestling books ever written. And Dynamite tells the story in his book, and basically he had to have a sit-down with Vince and Jacques and Raymond. The three of them had to go sit down in a hotel room together. And Vince was trying to call for peace. You know what I mean? What do we got to do here? And Dynamite said, well, these fuckers knocked my teeth out. I want them to pay for my teeth. It's going to cost about $5 to $10 grand. I can't remember the exact number. Well, it's somewhere in that price range of $5 to $10 grand. And Jacques, okay, we'll pay it. Dynamite says, joke's on these guys. My best friend was a dentist and fixed my teeth for free.
Yeah, it sounds like something Dynamite would do.
So I just thought that was a fun little story. And I love the story that Bronwyn tells in Dark Side of the Ring about, actually, she didn't tell on Dark Side of the Ring. She told on friend of the show, That 90s Podcast with James. And she said that she doesn't know anything about Jacques at the time, but she just thought it was really funny that her dad used to be able to take his teeth out, and it was a fond childhood memory for her. So I thought that was
sort of like
nice.
Probably with Noelle Foley and her dad.
Yeah, exactly, right? Look at this strength again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen this spot 1,000 times now, but back in '89, this would have been insane.
100%, right? And you're just seeing, and I like the fact that we're, I'm not going to sit here. We don't need to call this thing like we're, play-by-play analysis. I like that we've been talking about what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Just let the action speak for itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
these guys are putting on a clinic.
Yeah, we won't go JR in the King on this. But,
look at this.
Just standing headbutt.
That's one of my favorite Dynamite Kid moves. It's so simple and effective.
Yeah, and again, I've said this before, but you can see Dynamite and literally Photoshop Benoit's face on it, and you couldn't tell the difference.
I just love this type of wrestling right here. What you're seeing, this is like I love how he doesn't get the hold on right away. He has to struggle to get it. You know what I mean? There's a fight. Like it gives you this reality.
It looks like it's a fight as opposed to two guys working together.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I have a problem with the business right now. And I'm going to sound the old timer. Hey, listen, I love professional.
Sound like Jim Cornette.
I was going to say I don't want to sound like Cornette too much. because I do love a lot of professional wrestling today, but there is a lot of it that I really have to be like, okay, like this guy's been standing here for 6 minutes waiting for him to jump off this ladder. Like some of it's a little
that
much.
video too, huh?
yeah. But I love stuff like this. Look at Dynamite, like fish hooking him, trying to free. You know what I mean? And Dean, like this is a fight.
It looks like a legit shoot as opposed to two guys working together for a performance.
A great ring awareness by Dynamite there with the tag. That's the little things, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like, have you seen Austin's interview with Mick Foley yet on Broken Skull?
I've only seen a little. I've only seen the Dynamite Kid part, actually.
Well, there was like where Dynamite pretty much dislocates his jaw with a clothesline.
Yeah. Dynamite got a little fired up when Foley tried to hit his big elbow there.
Yeah. But they're talking about like little things. And in the infamous Hell in a Cell, when Taker pinned him, Foley still kicked his leg out. Like there was still fight left in him.
Yeah. I really like that too.
I've heard the little things in pro wrestling that are still missed. Like look at that. Almost like a fisherman suplex.
Wow. That was beautiful. The bridge on that, the neck strength that takes.
Yeah, it's weird seeing Malenko go to the ropes.
You know what I really like? Oh, he got caught.
But he caught him into almost Boston Crab. Nope, reversed it.
What do we got? Oh, he's going to go for a surfboard.
He's going to surfboard, yeah.
You know what I really like about this match, too, is that these guys are dressed like they're a tag team.
Yeah. That's one thing I've liked about Rude and Ziggler on SmackDown, is now they're starting to dress alike.
That's a beautiful surfboard, by the way.
Yeah. Bulldogs better get his shoulder up, though.
Yeah. The rest not counted. Look at that. I like that. Yeah. Joe coming in.
Yeah.
But again, now look at the quick tag, though. Davey Boy got kicked in the head. Oh, let's cut the ring off. And again, I'm going to say this every time they get in the ring. I love seeing these guys in there together. I want to see a Dynamite clothesline here. You know, he's got such a great clothesline.
I mean, that's where do you think Nigel McGuinness got his from?
100%.
Remember that 100%. Match we saw, you and I went to at the first ROH show in Toronto?
Yeah, Ted Reeves, Nigel, and Kevin Steen.
Or no, it was Kevin Steen. Yeah, Kevin Steen and Nigel. And and Nigel won it with a clothesline while Steen was sitting on the top rope.
Yeah. The thing I remember most about that match was the flip dive Steen did to the outside of the ring.
What I remember most about that is when Steen got Nigel in a spine buster in the middle of the air. All you hear is Nigel yell out, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Yeah, ROH has always delivered. Look at this. So look at the Bulldogs' facial expressions here. These are the little things, man. These are the little things that are missing today.
Yeah. And, I mean, as much as Cornette is considered like a old guy yelling at Sky Simpson's meme, he still does have some points going, what happened?
That was beautiful. Did you see that little leg sweep?
Yep. Just basically stop him.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. This stuff, you can see the difference between now and back then. Like, this was, 32 years ago?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. 89 being 32 years ago. I think I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, I'm old, man.
Yeah, I'm older than you. Shut up.
Oh, we're not as old as Mike, though.
Yeah, he turned the big 4-0 just the other day.
That's right.
But, this stuff today would get booed.
Yeah, people would chant boring, and I don't
but that's everyone would say, Randy Orton is called Mr. Rest Hold.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, no, Randy Orton is probably one of the best on the planet right now. Because he's so calculated. But this right now would probably get booed out of the building.
And it's crazy to me. Tell me this hasn't been a fantastic back and forth tag team match. You know what I mean?
No, it looks like a legit fight. A legit wrestling match.
Beautiful half crab. Just the transitions there. People don't appreciate the little things like that anymore. And it's just the society that we are today. You know, our attention span is shorter, and it's the way we've been conditioned as wrestling fans that if you're not going through a ladder, then it's terrible, right?
Yeah, you're not going through a ladder or a table, or you spend 15 minutes on the outside, or anything like that. I mean, that's why a lot of people, and sometimes myself, have a problem with the John Moxley matches.
Yeah,
is a lot of them outside of that one U.S. title, New Japan title match you had on Dynamite. A lot of his stuff doesn't stay in the ring.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about this. Like, I don't mind Moxley doing that, but I have a problem when it's more than just Moxley doing that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I'm warming up more and more and more. Oh, he's fighting this.
Fighting the back suplex and still
That's a beautiful German suplex.
Look at the
Holy,
bridge too with his
beautiful.
toes.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the more and more I listen to this guy talk, the more and more I get it, and it's Vince Russo. Vince Russo was like, everything doesn't need to be the same. Everything should be. You need to have a variety on your show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let Moxley go out there and be that wild, crazy guy, and then let the Young Bucks throw their high flying super kicks, and then let Kenny Omega be the mat technician. Let Hangman Page be the guy that's drinking beer with the fans. There needs to be that variety. Like WWE to me, and I don't mean to shit on WWE, but they're always the one that we go to as the example because they're the biggest company in the world. It's just cookie cutter to me right now. Everybody's the same.
I think right now the problem is because of the Thunderdome. What you can do is very limited. Starting SmackDown on July 16th, the go home show for Money in the Bank, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing a bit more difference.
Here's my take, and as we're recording this, live crowds are not back in WWE. This is such an amazing opportunity to give your product a shot in the arm. You know what I mean? Everybody's excited to go back to live events. You have the most excited wrestling audience maybe of all time right now because we're dying to go to wrestling shows.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, you got that big show coming up in Barrie, right?
That's right.
And then
I'm hoping that Mike and I and I'd love to invite you to come to that too, an on-air invitation.
Yeah. Once we get a date, if I get permission from my boss.
That's right.
And I'm not talking about my work boss.
No, I gotta get permission from my boss too, and as does Mike. We all have the real bosses, and we love them for it.
Oh yeah, no, Meg always says she's the boss.
Yeah,
equal relationship, my ass. She's the boss.
It's an equal relationship. She's the boss, and you shut up.
Know your role is shut your mouth, right?
Yeah, that's right, jabroni.
But they've the WWE has actually even said that there will be new sets for Raw and SmackDown once they do the live shows again. I mean, just before the pandemic, they had basically Raw's new set look like a skateboard ramp.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I like the news. I like the SmackDown entrance because
it's kind of this.
There you go.
Right to the outside.
I like the SmackDown one they did when they just moved to Fox because it was a bit of a throwback to the original.
Yeah.
With the brackets.
I just if you've got Raw, you've got SmackDown. I know we're getting off topic here, and we'll go back to the match in a minute here. But if you've got Raw, you got SmackDown, you got NXT. Why don't all three shows feel different? NXT is cool because it feels different. Raw and SmackDown are the same show.
Yeah, at the CWC. Yeah,
it's amazing that cage atmosphere. It's really cool.
Yeah, but yeah, no. And again, with the Thunderdome, you're limited on what you can do.
Yeah.
But
so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Starting was it July 16th, that Friday night.
So let me bring it back to this match a little bit. I want to talk about the Dynamite Kid again here.
For sure.
Oh, beautiful!
There's your clothesline.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Davey Boy. Is that Davey Boy there?
That's Davey Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a big press slam. No, look at that.
Throw him up, and now we're getting ready for the.
Here you go. This is classic Bulldogs.
Slam, boom.
I love it. It's so beautiful. Are we gonna get the press slam headbutt here? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love this move.
Dynamite goes over the ring. So does Davey Boy.
Big bump by Dynamite there. That was fantastic.
Mind you,
Dynamite Kid, is he ever going to go in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I don't think he will, just because of that shotgun incident.
How about Legacy Wing?
Maybe. I mean, Davey Boy went in this year.
Hey, Davey Boy wasn't perfect either. Do you ever read Diana Hart's book?
Yes, I have it.
It's a terrible book, but
yeah,
let's not get into Diana. But he was no fucking angel either, man. That was beautiful again.
Yeah, nice.
Northern Lights suplex.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Davey was no angel.
But none of these guys are. So
no.
What?
Well, you've read Brett's book?
Yeah, Brett was no angel, man.
Yeah, he admitted he cheated on his wife, and how
A
they
million
relaxed
times.
instead of going out and getting drunk all over the place. Is a bunch of them basically went into one room, huge pound of coke in the middle, and just told stories.
I mean, you gotta. How do you just pick and choose? You know, it's just like what's not going to get cancel cultured. Is that how they do it now? You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, Dynamite's nose is busted open. Oh,
oh yeah,
beautiful roll up.
yeah.
WrestleMania 10
Nope,
right
did he get him?
there. I think he got him.
Yeah, he got him.
What a finish. What a
Yeah,
great wrestling match that
yeah,
was.
yeah. No, he got him with the 3.
That right there is a clinic of four of the best technical wrestlers going, man. Look at Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh,
He's awesome.
he's exhausted.
Steve, what do
Um,
you think of that match going and watching it now?
great technical match. Unfortunately, I don't think it would hold up to today's standards.
No.
Just because unfortunately there's too many holds. But this is 4 of the best technical wrestlers. I mean, Davey Boy at the time, before his singles run in WWF, was not known as a technical guy, but he really showed his chops here.
You know how over that the Malenkos just got in Japan because of that handshake too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the Bulldogs.
Big time.
I mean, the Bulldogs are just coming back from their WWF run.
That's it. I could see this match fitting in really well in Ring of Honor right now, in all honesty.
Oh, for sure. Especially if now that they brought the Pure title back.
100%. So, Steve, we're getting ready to take it home here, man. As always, thank you for doing this. Hit the people up. Where can we catch E8 Podcast?
E8 Podcast is on Anchor, Spotify. Griff and I will do, usually every other week, we do a bit of a sports rant on about almost self-therapy of what we seeing in the sports world. And then every other week after that, we do a list of, we challenge each other, sort of how like you and Mike do it, of top 8 sports topics. And we just go from there.
Beautiful, man. Well, as always, keep up the good work on the E8 Podcast. You're one of my favorites to talk to about professional wrestling. And on behalf of you, Steve, and on behalf of the British Bulldogs and the Malenkos and a wrestling clinic, we have been counted out. Cheers.